as well, just to spice up the conversation, spice up the fragrance talk. We're live here, YouTube. How's it going? Extravagant Fragrances. Thanks for joining in. Wherever you're at in the world or in the US, go ahead and put it in the chat which state you're viewing from. This is just kind of a open talk, open fragrance talk tonight. And we are streaming live on 2 platforms tonight. Let me go and pin some products here. We got some products up. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the shares. Go and give me a share. Give me a like. How's it going? YouTube, we are over also on TikTok right now. We are live on TikTok. So if you're not on TikTok, give me a follow there on TikTok. Give me a follow and a share. Elena, how are you doing? Good evening. Okay. So it's about 6:41 there in Oakland, correct? Come on, guys. Give me some likes. Give me more than one heart here. Get me up there, guys. Get me up there. I heard you can like your own live streams. Extravagant Fragrances here. Live fragrance talk tonight. How are you doing, everybody? Like and share the video. Yeah. The sun go down yet there in Oakland, California? Sweetland, Mexican Sweetland. How are you doing? Thanks for joining in. Yeah, that's right. Oakland is Bay Area, so yeah, it does get a little bit colder than Southern California. You guys had some thank you there, Merciful. Yes. Come on, let's get them likes up there. Thank you for the like there, Wesser. Thank you for the like. Thank you for the like. It's just a fragrance talk today. Just Frag Head talk today. I was talking to a buddy of mine. He's actually a wholesale customer. He's actually been in the business longer than me. But we were talking today about the difference between the 1/3 ounce regular roll-ons that you usually see the street vendors carry, and the difference between that and the imported fragrances. I was there was I guess you could say it was a prospect that I put some of the French fragrance in front of him, and he was like, "How much is it for that?" And that's the one thing that I've learned is like sometimes when they see it, like let's say for instance right here, boom, we got this right here. This is the Anno Ashok, okay. So for example, like if I display it in this bottle, and I'm like, yeah, this I got the French fragrance here. I got this. This is called Anno Ashok, okay. They don't quite understand that it goes in a smaller bottle. Okay, let me see. For example, okay, we got two types of bottles here. That it goes in this smaller bottle right here, right? So if they see this before they see this, okay, they're thinking they're like, how much is that fragrance? And I'm like, well, it's $9.99, for example, right? They're like, you're gonna give me that whole bottle for $9.99, and I'm like, no. It gets poured into this bottle, and that's what I'll sell for $9.99. But we've been talking about the difference between qualities, right? So for example, you have this. This is the 1/3 ounce roll on. You need help there, Mo? Hey, Chase, can you help Mom move that? Help her out there, please. Thank you for the light there. So we have this, right? This is a common size right here with a lot of the street vendors. If you can see on TikTok, this is a common size, right? And so a lot of people, when they see these, they're used to paying like, $5, $8, depending on where you're at. Sometimes you can sell them for 20. Okay. Now the difference between this, a fragrance that I usually put in this, or that people are used to seeing in this, and this fragrance right here, is that this French fragrance right here will cost me about, 6 to 7 times more wholesale. I'm talking my cost. And so that's why it's like, a couple vendors today were talking about not having it in this bottle right here. You know what I'm saying? And to have it bottled up in a fancier bottle, because on the business side of things, TikTok is the, we got a lot of TikTok. We got people wholesale viewing in from YouTube, and YouTube, we got mostly people viewing in who are more of like the retail side of things. But I just wanted to explain here is that this size right here, the French fragrance, is about 6 to 7 times more than, let's say, a domestic, right? This is still a good quality. This is Jamaican plum. This is one of my biggest sellers among the fruity fragrances, but it costs about 6 to 7 times less than the French fragrances, just because of how it's made. Okay. And the way this is made is usually it's gonna smell cleaner, it's gonna smell pure, and it's about 40% more concentration than what you're gonna have in the domestic fragrance, right? So that's what I was talking to a vendor today, and we were talking about, he just how, like, trying to explain to him what it would be like to have, to sell the fragrance and like a premium in something like this. And I'm like, people just aren't going to understand if they're used to seeing this for $3. Because some street vendor was just wanted to move it real fast. And then you go and you let's say you take a premium fragrance that costs like $95 that goes in, that is a 10 milliliter, then they're just not going to understand it. So you're going to have to go and put that premium fragrance into a more premium bottle, right? So it's almost like you wouldn't go in and you wouldn't go to a formal event wearing jeans. You get what I'm saying? So that's kind of where the conversation went with that. We're waiting for some more people to come in here. Let's go pin some items here. Monica K, how are you doing? Are you in the oil business, Monica? Great. Good. I'm glad you got the package. Monica, how long you been following the YouTube channel? You said somewhat? Okay, okay. How long you been following us? About 5 years? I feel like, I don't know why, I feel like we've talked before some years back. Have we spoken before? Let's see here. Okay, that's cool. Let's see, we're adding in some stuff. So out of the ones that you got, which ones give me some feedback here. I'd like to hear some feedback. See what you thought of some of the fragrances there. You're getting more into the retail side of the oils. Tropical bouquet smells like a juicy Jolly Rancher. That's one of my private blends, actually. So I'm glad you like that. Maybe I'll put it over here in the TikTok shop. Yeah, so see like a Hawaiian punch. That's kind of what I really was aiming for with that fragrance. Hold on a second. Elena say, okay, you say you, Elena says she got the Egyptian musk and the wholesale Egyptian musk. I think they are the same smells. Good. Gonna give it try a few more. It's yeah, it is the same. It is the same. I'm sorry. Like sometimes on the website, I'll post certain items and then I'll repost it, forgetting that I had it posted somewhere else on the website. Uh, BMC, how's it going? How's the French import? The Blue Day Chanel is very good quality. However, I'm not able to at this moment. I don't know if I can find more of that because my supplier stopped selling it. But the Blue Day Chanel, the French import, that one is a really it's just a step up. I'm gonna say like before you came on BMC, so I was talking about the difference between imports and domestics, and about how the imports are about 40% stronger, about 40% pure than the domestic body oils. And we were talking about the difference between like what kind of bottles to actually have them displayed in, right? The other day there was a guy who smelled one of the French fragrances that I have, and he's like, "How much for that?" And I showed it to him in the actual wholesale bottle, the actual display bottle. He's like, "How much for that?" I said, "It's 20 bucks." He's like, "Man," I was like, "Yeah," and I had to make sure to let him know. Well, it's in this roll on because that's all I had on me at the time. And he's like, "Oh man, I can get those for 5 bucks." I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. That's the domestic oil. That is the domestic oil. We're talking about the French oils, the French fragrances, right?" Um, he just couldn't get it. He just didn't understand it. So, and I was talking to a couple of vendors today, and we were just going over this. This is the kind of talk that we have. We're like saying like people, a mass majority of people don't understand quality, right? They have no idea. They think everything is standardized. They think everything is the same quality. They don't understand the difference between, for example, a sandalwood and cedarwood. You know what I mean? They don't understand why one costs more than the other. Well, one is probably harder to distill. One's probably rarer. One's probably harder. Probably takes longer to grow the crops for that particular raw material that goes into that perfume. So all of those nuances, like they don't quite understand. And so we were talking because, for example, right? Um, I always like to go back to the to the supplement industry, right? And one thing about the supplement industry is you have I'm sorry, somebody here said this is blocking my face. Some white box. Sorry about oops. Sorry about that. Um so for example, like the supplement industry, right? One thing you have to know about like nutraceuticals is that like they all work. They all are very effective in what it is that they're intended to do, right? But the difference is that if you actually put in the amount of raw active ingredients to make that product work, it would cost a lot more than what people are willing to pay for. So that's why when it comes down to marketing, a majority of the like nutraceuticals, for example, a majority of the product is tied up in marketing. Assalamu alaikum salam. A majority of the product is tied up into marketing. I mean, a majority of the money that goes into that product, it's not in the building the actual quality product that can produce results. Because companies understand that consumers, the only thing they understand is what they see in front of them. You know, when I used to deal with wholesale distributors, the very first question they would ask me is, "What's your marketing budget?" They don't want to know anything about the product. They don't want to know about what kind of quality ingredients go into it. They don't want to know how effective it is. They don't want to know, you know, what kind of results are the people seeing. All they want to know is what is your marketing budget, which means, do you got nice labels? Do you have models? Do you have people that represent your product, right? That's all they want to know. And so bringing it back to perfume, people get tied up into all the art and the bottling, and it, unfortunately, this is the psyche of humans, you know. uh and it's just, it is what it is, you know. um Now, that being said, the like, we had some questions up here about the imports contain more oil or less, more oil or less DPG. So from what I was told, um what I was told is that there's actually some DPG in all of the body oils, right? Like the domestic oils. Okay, and the reason for that, yes, Galen, yes, I'm selling oils, body oils, incense. We have over 200 different fragrances, by the way. Showing love. We got Jonathan paying showing love from Texas. Thanks for viewing in. Um, and so what was I saying? Um, oh, that's right, the DPG. So someone's trying. I'm not gonna take any conversations right now. Um, so from what I was told is that there is a little bit of DPG that's put into all body oils. Even people, when they say my oils are uncut, they're not uncut, because the DPG is put in there as kind of like a binder. It helps. It's kind of used as a fixative, right? And to help bind certain ingredients together. So that's the difference. As far as like the imports having a certain amount of DPG, I don't know. But one thing I do know is that the imports, at least the imports that I have, are about 40% stronger, and are concentrated, about 40% concentrated than the domestic body oils. Okay. So TikTok, there we go. This is domestic body oil. This is French. 40% stronger, 40% less strong. This is what you will see. This is like a $5 bottle. This is a $20 bottle, right? If we're talking a 1/3 ounce, okay. If we're talking 1/3 ounce, boom, there it is. That's the difference. Um, okay, so we got some questions here. Elena, you said you thought you were getting different. Hey brother, here. So we got the guy Jonathan in Texas. He says the San Antonio street vendors are posted up in the malls and sell 1 ounce roll on for 15. I think that's definitely fair. That's more than fair for a 1 ounce roll on. I have them on the website for $17.99 free shipping, which I think is fair. You know, considering shipping alone is like $4. So and so that's why what I wanted to get at. I had a couple complaints actually on TikTok. I have a few, like just a few products on TikTok, and the people was like, the 1/3 ounce. I can't believe I paid $10. Well, if you wanted to pay $5 for that roll on, that means I would have to post that bottle for $1, and then TikTok is going to charge you $4 for shipping. Okay, so please understand, like, we are in inflation. Most people don't really get that. We're in inflation. Things have gone up. Shipping has gone up. I remember when a roll-on was less than $2 for me to ship. So I'd be able to go boom, 6.99 free shipping, no problem, right? Those days are long gone. Thanks for the follow there, Urban Vintage Girl. So Monica here in Seattle says people don't realize that the fees that come with putting your stuff on an online shop plus shipping and materials. Exactly. So here it is. Like, somebody saying, okay, I had a couple complaints. I can't believe I spent $10 for this bottle, right? I remember in 2000 and about 2010, 2011, I had a supplier, and he had to raise his price. We're talking a physical brick and mortar storefront. He's like, I have to raise my price. I have overhead. Cost of things are going up, and he had raised his price to $8 then. And mind you, he was not shipping. He wasn't shipping. It was just straight cash in his retail shop. Um, Now you got to think about, boom. Here we go. You got to think about, here it is. It goes in an envelope, right? Then there's the plastic bag. Then the time it takes me to sit there, type up a printed label, slap that on there, uh, and then put it in the package. So I got to pay myself for my time, first of all, and the shipping. You know what I mean? The shipping is where it's really like people think that retailers are just being greedy. No, they're not. They're just trying. They're just adjusting to inflation, and everything's going up. If you could be like paying just a couple bucks on one thing over here, but you're getting screwed on something over there, like when you go into the store. You know what I mean? Hold on a second. Yeah, so Jonathan said, he's the only person, or I'm the only person that he knows that's in the oil business. Really? Wait, I thought you said you had guys there in the mall. So this is this. I'm gonna put this back here so that's displayed. Boom. So, but despite all of that, so that's the reason why today, like the conversation I had with a couple other vendors was uh making it a point to not put the premium stuff in regular roll-ons. Don't ever sell them in these right here. So I'm in search actually of a premium bottle, uh and just a whole different marketing strategy with the premiums. um so that way I can just keep them separated, and so people are able to differentiate, like, oh, that's a cheap roll-on over there, and over here there's the premium bottle that I know I'm gonna have to, cough up a few extra bucks. You know what I'm saying? Fragrance Boy says, thoughts on Versace Ufrosh. Is that how you say frosh or frosche? I haven't smelled that one, to be honest. I really haven't smelled that one. I'd love to smell it though. I'm sorry. Okay, so here we're over on YouTube as well. Jonathan says that actually explained the difference between imports and domestics. The guys in San Antonio, Texas, mixed a lot of alcohol with their oils and don't last. What the? Why would you mix? Why would you mix? I mean, unless they're selling them as sprays. Are they selling them as sprays with atomizers? I do know people that do that, but not like a roll on. I hope that's not what they're doing. I remember I was looking at a an incense crafter, and they were trying to differentiate themselves between the other companies out there, and they're like, yeah, other companies use alcohol in their incense oil. And I'm like, who puts alcohol? Why would you put alcohol in your incense oil? Like, to me, that doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. So yeah, Jonathan. So the uh the way it was explained to me by a perfumer is he was saying, for example, he's like, the way a perfume is made, right? He was like, you can make one perfume smell exactly the same as, I mean, when you smell it, you're gonna be like, okay, that's fill in the blanks, whatever name, right? He's like, but one is gonna smell a lot stronger, and a lot purer than the other one. And that is the reason why, and the reason why is because maybe one has a more premium ingredient that's going to project. Like, I'll give you an example. Like white, I always go back to white oud. White oud, that is something I don't know what the actual ingredients are in white oud. I was told that white oud is not really real oud. It is a synthetic oud. They're probably using something else. However, it's a very, very premium fragrance, whatever they're using to make that fragrance. Well, I know a guy who actually got that tried attempted to get that made as a domestic oil here in the US, and it was just, you can't even compare. I mean, like, we're talking within an hour the fragrance is just gone. The imported white oud, you put that on, it's on you for like, especially if you get it in your clothes, that's on you for like a few days, and people are going to smell that on you, you know. So that's the difference there. So I was actually looking at some Italian bottles. They're Italian made bottles. Um, and it's just a whole different ball game than these. These are mass produced in China. They serve their purpose. You know what I mean? Especially when you're selling like the $5 to $8 roll-ons, right? But you could just tell, like these bottles right here, there's kind of like a, well, it's not metal, it's obviously glass, but you can see where there is a seam, where in the manufacturing facility where it was kind of like sealed up. You can't see it on the camera, but it's there. With the Italian made bottles, they're made differently. They're just, the glass is thicker, the glass is denser, the glass is a more polished look. The roll-ons are wider, right? The one-third roll-ons actually look a little fatter, and the caps that come with them, they're not plastic. They're like this material right here. Uh, that's on this. Oops, hold on a second. So if you listen to it, you can you hear that tap. I don't know what this material is called. I forgot what it's called, but the Italian roll-ons, That's what they're made with, and they're way more expensive. Last I checked, they were like a dollar. They were like a whole dollar for those, and that was like 3-4 years ago. So I could only imagine they're probably they're like a $2 roll on by now. You know, we got just smell so good here. So true about it. Just smell so good said so true about inflation. You must go up on price to give your clients the best quality products possible. Alcohol and incense, you're really gonna start a fire. Exactly. Um, yeah, you really do. You really have to go up in price. Otherwise, uh, if they want to spend, let's say five, not even five, like there's people out there that are like, yeah, I could get that roll on for 3, right? When the actual ingredient, I'm sorry, the actual fragrance that's in that bottle might cost you already, a premium price, right? Um, the vendor has to be able to afford to stay in business in order to keep bringing on new products that are going to attract the buyers, right? So if I sell a roll-on, for example, if I sell a roll-on and I can't keep the lights on because I'm giving it to you at the price that you want, then I'm not able to sustain a business. And if I can't sustain a business, uh, I want to be in thriving mode so that way I can bring in new fragrances, right? But and I've seen people do that. I've seen people that are like they're short-sighted. They don't see like, okay, I'm just I know what my cost is, but I'm just going to move this real fast. And here it is. You sold a 1 ounce roll on for $5 because I've seen that before as well. And now that person who has that roll on, they might not see you if especially if they're not really a heavy fragrance user, you might not see them for like another year. You get what I'm saying? And so uh it, you got to be able to get in there, make a profit, and not to mention also you might have a fragrance that might sit on the shelf for years, right? You're just carrying it, you have it in your library just because you just have to have it, right? Like I have Lagerfeld in the library, right? Um, I have to have it there because I know there's going to be some old head that's going to be like, "Where's the Lagerfeld?" You know what I mean? And it is a great fragrance. Like I still really like that fragrance, just because it reminds me of like when I was a kid. You know. Um. So again, like I said, you might have that fragrance that's sitting there for a while, so you don't know when you're going to sell that fragrance again. So you have to be able to uh cover what your initial investment was because not all fragrances are going to sell at the same rate. You might have one fragrance that's selling like hotcakes 1 month. The next month, you might be sitting on that same fragrance for the longest. You know what I mean? Unless you switch things up and you like I said, like I did a video on like rebranding and changing names, right? Uh, let's see. We said So Jonathan in Texas says, I'd rather pay more for quality than paying 15 for an oil that doesn't last. That's why I'm glad I found this channel. Can't wait to purchase of your fragrance, brother. I appreciate that, bro. And then Monica in Seattle says you have to make them understand they're paying for quality materials. Exactly. And Drew says he agrees with Monica. And nicer bottles could convey that. Yeah, exactly. It's like I was saying earlier, like if like going to a formal in jeans, right? You kind of like especially if it's like a networking type of formal where you have the potential to meet like people that are going to be good business prospects. They might not take you so serious. So it's like kind of like the same thing when it comes to the fragrance. We got somebody said something here on TikTok. Do the oils lose scent at all? Dissipate? Yeah, all the oils lose scent. All of them do. All the premium oils, they all lose scent. but it depends on the rate at which they lose the scent. With let's say a domestic body oil, right? Um, and this is kind of like, I don't know, this kind of, when I see this, it kind of annoys me when I see vendors, they say stuff like, say like a domestic body oil, put it on and it lasts all day. No, it doesn't last all day. Don't stop saying that. No, it doesn't last all day. At least in my experience, I've never worn a domestic fragrance that lasts all day. You can expect, I mean, to keep that impression on people when you walk into a room and they smell you, you can expect about 6 to 8 hours. I think that's fair to say, right? About 6 to 8 hours. Uh, Thank you, Lane, there for that. I would say about 6 to 8 hours. With the imported fragrances, I would even say some of the expensive imported fragrances. Like I have some imported pounds that I pay hundreds of dollars for. Even some of those um, might not last all day long, but it's just they're expensive because the ingredients that go into making them are expensive, and it's just the nature of certain ingredients don't last all day long. Some of your heavy musks and some of like the authentic ouds will last you all day long. Some of the authentic ouds will last could last 2 to 3 days long, depending on where you put it. If it gets into your clothes, like the Jennut. I had a customer online. They left a review and they said it literally was in his clothes for 3 days straight. Um, Now, for example, the Misk Al Rijal. It's a very premium fragrance. I pay a lot of money for that. We'll put it that way. It's in the hundreds. The Misk Al Rijal, right? Uh, Now that one, it's very premium. Oh, I'm sorry, mom. Sorry. Um, so the Misk Al Rijal, for example, it's a premium fragrance. When you smell that fragrance, it's super clean, but don't expect that fragrance to last all day long. It doesn't last all day long. But how it projects for the amount of time that it's on you, about five, I will say about five to maybe six to maybe about 6 hours. Yeah, it will be on you for a good 6 hours. Like I find that a lot of the aquatic fragrances will last less longer. And I don't care what the quality is. Most aquatic fragrances that I've ever smelled, like the Invictus Aqua, for example, that's another one, very clean. I'm talking about the French Invictus Aqua. It's a very clean fragrance. I've gotten so many compliments on that fragrance. Big seller, but um, I would say it's stronger in the projection department than the longevity department. Not every fragrance that projects well and smells pure is going to be good in the longevity. Now, when it comes to the ouds, like the oud blends that actually have like real oud in them, for example, those you can expect projection and longevity, right? Just because they're more, what's the word I'm looking for? They're just the pure oud is kind of sappy. You know what I'm saying? It's a little stickier, and so the way it's not as volatile, right? Your aquatic fragrances, because there's some citrus there, tend to be a little more volatile, and that's why I believe that those fragrances, the hang time doesn't matter the quality; it's not going to like last as long. Uh, so just smells so good. Says some people use swirls bottles. We can't see at five five in any longer. Well, I'm sorry. Can you say that again? Just smells so good. Repeat that again. Repeat that statement again. You just said. So Monica says the molecules are heavier, so it'll stay on the skin longer, probably. Yeah, you sound like a well seasoned Frag Head there, Monica. You've been in the books. I can tell. You okay, Ma? Mhm. I'm glad you talked about this. Yeah, it gets a little. It gets a little. Doing it. Yeah. How long you do that? Uh, Sometimes I'll go for about an hour or maybe hour and a half. You're doing good though. Thanks for joining in. We got about a couple people here. Um, yeah, I was gonna say just smells so good. So that's another thing too. Is like those 1/3 ounce roll-ons. Those 1/3 ounce roll-ons. The swirl. Those actually hold more oil than um than the regular plain roll-ons. These are actually smaller than the 1/3 swirls. You probably have experienced that. Phil here. TikToks have been talking to my friend. Okay. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for joining. Like and share. Thanks for joining in. Like and share, everybody. If you guys have any questions, throw them there in the chat. Anything you want to talk about regarding fragrance? So Monica says she likes the Arabian opium fragrance. That's more of a men's scent. Yeah, did you get that? Did you get the Arabian opium? I got a family member that loves that. Um, the Arabian opium. Unfortunately, I couldn't sell that over here on the TikTok because they got a whole deal with the AI, and when I put in opium, it's flagged. You know what I mean? And they don't, AI doesn't quite understand that. No, it's not that kind. It's the fragrance opium. Okay, that's right. I do remember putting that in there. That's a unisex fragrance. Yeah, that's a unisex. What did you think of that one? Awesome. Yeah, I really like that one too. Uh Japanese amber is a lighter scent than expected for an amber. You think so? That one is well, that one was started off as a blend actually. Um so as far as how much of an ambery, yeah, I do smell like if you I don't know if you tried the Egyptian amber though. The Egyptian amber is the Japanese amber is kind of resembles a little bit of the Egyptian amber. That Egyptian amber is very can be very annoying. I have to be honest. It's a sweet fragrance, but you definitely don't want to do too much on that. Alex, how's it going? You said best fragrance no matter what price. I didn't quite get what you were saying there. Can you say that again? Yeah, the Egyptian amber is it's a thinner fragrance, but the projection on that is heavy projection. And it's a thin fragrance. There's like no thickness to that whatsoever. I have another Egyptian amber in the works. That is it's a sweeter, the Egyptian amber 2. So that's the Egyptian amber 2, and that's a sweeter fragrance. Not well, the one that I just mentioned, the regular Egyptian amber that I have, it's a sweet fragrance too, but it's more, yeah, like I said, it's just really heavy on the projection, um, and it lingers. The Egyptian amber 2 is more of something. Honestly, that's something that I would see in like a cosmetic product, like a shampoo or a conditioner. So that's in the works. That's coming. Thanks for joining in. Like and share, everybody. What's up, man? Huh? You good? She sleep? um, what else was I gonna say? Hmm? No, why? I know my eyes are dry. The Safa and Marwa, I don't know. I don't know how I would describe that one. It definitely has an Eastern smell to it, though. I would say, yeah, it definitely has a Middle Eastern smell. To me, it smells kind of like, uh, it smells like almost like a more upgraded version of Angel, a little bit, just a tad. What would you say about that, Monica? Thanks for joining in. Like and share. Yeah, that kind of Angel, meaning like the Thyri Muggler Angel. That Angel, all of the Thyri Muggler Angels, smell. Even the men's like Angel for men like smells similar to Angel for women. You know what I mean? Jonathan says 6 to 8 hours hang time is good for him. What is your most compl my most complaint fragrances? Good question. Good question. I will get on that. So I have to think about that one. Your most biggest complaint. Well, it depends on who's complaining about it. Like, okay, so Egyptian musk is my number one seller out of all 200 something fragrances that I carry on extravagantfragrances.com. However, uh, got a lot of people that love that one. My mom can't stand it. She doesn't like Egyptian musk. She's a frag head too. She really loves the oils. She loves the fragrances, but that one she doesn't like. And I'm like, Ma, you know this is my number one seller. I sell more Egyptian musk than anything. Uh, so again, it depends on who's complaining about it. Uh, the ones, let me see, the ones that I don't like personally, I don't like some of the old throwbacks. Like, there's a Gucci that is like, it just smells kind of like 19 early 90s, you know? And I'm not a fan of that Gucci. Kind of like Dracar is kind of smells kind of old school. You know, like Dracar is a good fragrance. It's not a bad fragrance, but that and a lot of guys like it has a lot of appeal with the opposite gender, but like Dracar, for example, even still, like it'll still turn heads, but to me, that it still smells like an old kind of an old school fragrance. Doesn't smell 2000ish. You know, smells more like a 19 early 90s. It's not that to me is not like a timeless scent. Um, what else is a complainer? Um, I find that a lot of the older women who are in like their 50s, maybe late 40s, no, I would say like yeah, women in their 50s and 60s, they don't tend to like the sweeter fragrances that the younger generation wears. Like your bubblegum teeny boppers, like they don't like that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like so for example, like a 50 something year old woman, a 60 something year old woman, it'll be harder for me to put her on something like pink sugar or pink privacy or uh let's say what else? Um or like maybe I might be able to put them on some Kim Kardashian. But yeah, like the sweeter, really, really sweet fragrances, I find that the older women, uh, and they tend to be the biggest spenders when it comes to fragrance. They tend to like the musks. Just today, there was an older lady. She straight up, what's that, mom? No, mom, mom. So there was an older lady today. I just thought just to break it down. So there was an older lady today who picked up. She picked up Versace Arrows. She told me straight from the jump. She's like, I like men fragrances. This is what this older lady told me. I like men fragrances. And then so she got the Versace Arrows, the men's. She got white oud. She got she also got a bottle of the Musk KL, and that was the Saudi version. Uh, that's what she picked up, and that's very. The Musk KL is supposed to it's supposed to resemble deer musk. It's supposed to have like notes of deer musk in it. I don't know if there's a real deer musk in that or synthetic. But I was told that that musk KL has the real deer musk. I don't know how much of it is in there, or if it is in there. That's another thing about deer musk. Deer musk is kind of like up there with oud, right? So there's just a lot of funny business sometimes. Like you really are at the mercy of whoever is bringing you the raw materials when it comes to that, or whoever is actually making that product. So I'll give you an example, right? When you go to buy honey at the marketplace, right? Uh, you don't know if the beekeeper is feeding their honeybees sugar, like regular sugar, which people who are like really big on organic honey, if you tell them that, they're not going to like that. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, so your honey is organic, meaning that the flowers weren't sprayed with pesticides, but here it is in the wintertime, you're feeding your honeybees sugar water. You get what I'm saying? So you know, there's kind of some shady business sometimes when it comes to certain ingredients. Like, so for example, like the deer musk, if a product says, okay, well, this has deer musk in it, you're not going to know if how much of that is synthetic, how much of it is pure deer musk, or how or if it's all synthetic, or if it's like 100% synthetic. You get what I'm saying? um so I'm told that the musk kl, it has some deer musk in it. How much of it is in there, I don't know. uh However, top complimented fragrance is one of my top complimented fragrances. And I think for what you pay for that, for the musk kl, I think it's a very good quality for what you pay. I think it's a very good value. I do smell notes of patchouli in that, so I'm not a patchouli wearer. But if I wanted to venture on that side of the spectrum, when it comes to wearing like a fragrance that has a lot of base notes in it, like patchouli, I would definitely wear musk kale any day of the week. And most first and foremost, because it is a very complimented fragrance, and it's also very good for making blends like mucullets. That's another one that I like to blend in my mucullets. But it's just a very prominent bass note type of fragrance that you got to watch. So, for example, if you're trying to make a mulcullet, if you use too much of that musk KL, like people are going to really, it's going to stand out. So that's kind of like, I try to strike that balance. Like if I'm ever doing a mulcullet, I try to strike the balance where you can't pinpoint and say, you put this in there, right? Like for example, like there's certain fragrances that are hard to do that, right? If you're doing, let's say, a blend, Monica, hey, it sounds good. Yeah, I think you'll like that one. Um, I will say you're probably gonna smell some slight notes of patchouli in the musk KL. My wife says it smells like like a, how did she say that? She said it smells like a type of vanilla, like a different type of vanilla or something like that. And other people are saying I smell patchouli. So, but it's a top complimented. I like to rotate that with some of the other fragrances. Um, but like I was saying, like when people do certain blends on certain fragrances, there's certain fragrances that if you put too much and you don't blend it right, that particular note is gonna that fragrance is gonna stand out like crazy. Like I know one vendor who tried to tried to sneak in some Blue Nile in a blend that he put together, and I knew right away. I was like, "That's got Blue Nile in it." He's like, "Yeah, I put Blue Nile." Uh, Someone's Fernando Costa says, "You ever smell Mancera Holidays?" I've never smelled that. Tell me the notes and who produces that fragrance. Um, Yeah, so that's kind of like the balance. I try to strike that balance with you know, being able to put a fragrance in with other fragrance. Like if I'm doing McCulloch, where you can't pinpoint and say that's in there or this is in there or that's in there. So Fernando Costas at the it's from Mancera House, the Mancera Holidays fragrance. He says a very sweet coconut fragrance, a little aquatic. Interesting. How's the hang time on that? Thanks for joining in. Give me a like and share, everybody. Give me a follow there. Fernando says it lasts forever on him. Awesome. Is that like a sounds like a summery type, go on a vacation type of fragrance. Monica Case says she really likes the Anna Ashok. I was talking to a vendor today. He actually wanted like 12 more bottles of that. But this right here, this is exactly what I might have enough to spare 12 bottles for him. But this is what's left of the Anna Ashok. So if you weren't on here before, this fragrance right here, uh, I'll tell this story again for the TikTok crowd. So this fragrance right here, this is the Anna Ashok. This is a French fragrance. This is a French import. Monica K says it smells great. And so this fragrance was sold to me by a Black American brother who was from Philadelphia, and he moved over to Morocco, and he had this, and he was selling it on the streets of Morocco, and he named it Anawashok. I guess it's an Arabic word, and he was learning Arabic, and that's what he named it. And then he brought it back to Philadelphia and made it popular among a lot of the street vendors of Philadelphia. And I actually found out another person who sold it to me. He designs like he designs like Islamic clothing. I guess you could say he's like a Islamic clothing fashion designer in Philadelphia. But he was the very first one to sell this to me. And then I found out when I lived in another state, North Carolina, that particular vendor, the second person, was the very first person to name this. But this was first sold to me as Enta, and then the main guy who named it sold it to me as Anawashok. Uh, so he was like one of the guys that got me really on the French fragrances. He had, believe it or not, he had black butter remade as a French fragrance, and it was just way cleaner. Just the hang time, the purity, it just smelled cleaner, you know. So he had to do a whole lot of schooling that hey, I can get that for $3 crowd. He had to really school them on that and why he was selling it for so much. Because he's like, no, this is made in France. This is made cheap here in America for the $3 a bottle crowd. Uh, so is that all you have, or will you be getting more? I'm gonna try to see what I can do because sometimes there's certain fragrances that are private blends, right? That only certain people carry, and then they give it a name. And then there's certain fragrances that people just will rebrand it a name, but it's already a popular fragrance that's already in production. And all it takes is the right supplier to smell and be like, yeah, I know what that is. I have that. You know what I mean? Uh, but yeah, so far this is what I got. This is what I got. So I hope to get this again though, because anytime I break this one out, it just like it grows legs and it just runs. Yeah. Another really nice one that I smelled before that I'm not able to get anymore is the French white patchouli. That one is very nice. Very, very nice. So Jonathan, the brother of Jonathan Pena's, I thought he said because I think he quoted or misspoke what he was saying, and it looked like he said, "What is my most complained fragrances?" But that's a good question. I do like to go uh, down that list sometimes. But he said, "No, my bad." He said, "What is my most complimented fragrances?" Okay, so let's start with the women's um, most complimented, and I'm gonna say it's gonna be Coach Poppy, big seller, big seller on the website. Um, Pink Privacy, big seller. I actually had to re up on that. That you see that? So I ordered a couple more pounds of this one. Pink Privacy is a big, probably my biggest selling female fragrance right now. Um, Dolce Gabbana Light Blue for women, big seller. Um, Let me see. Let me put the master list here, and I'll go down the master list. You okay? You need anything?
No.
You sure?
So I just put that to bring the container of ice up my fire.
Oh.
Put
You need something for that?
Yeah, with plastic top on it. Then I rinse it back, brush it.
I'm trying to think. Hold on, Ma.
A clean one.
Hold on. I'm trying to think what I can use.
I have one at home, but I forgot.
Give me a second. Give me a second.
It's only that little bit. Small.
I'll have Chase when he comes out. I have him grab something.
Is it clean?
I have to think, Ma. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, I have to think.
There's a plastic top, but you don't have plastic.
Oh wait, yeah. There's plastic cups under this, under
There
there.
it goes.
Yeah.
I saw.
Is there a stack of plastic cups there?
Yeah,
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back.
it's for the fish.
You can use these. These are clean. No, nothing. They're new.
Oh.
Okay, so top complimented fragrances. So, Botcher M says Pink Privacy is an OG. Laughing out loud. I had that since I was in high school. Really? Yeah, it's a big seller. Uh, Let me see what else. The Hey Katrina, alaikum salam. How you doing, sister? Good seeing you. Uh, let's see. We're going down the list. Somebody asked, like, what are the most complimented fragrances? We said Pink Privacy, Coach Poppy. Um, Again, the Anna Ashok, big big compliment getter. All the Burberrys, all of the Creeds, uh, Coco Mademoiselle. What else? Chanel number 5 never goes out of style. That is just Love Spell. Another big. Well, when I say compliment, because you asked the most compliments, I'm gonna I'm gonna have to say they're the most compliment getters because they would have to be if they're selling out. You know what I mean? And I see them regularly go out. Those are regularly stocked items there. Chanel, all the Chanels, Coco Chanel, Juicy Couture, I Am Juicy is another one. That one goes out. All the Dolce Gabbanas go out. Uh, Dreaming, Forever Red is another one. Another big one. So somebody said my thoughts on Sting. Is that a fragrance? Jake Young says my girl got me Nautica Voyage for Valentine's. She said it was 75. What do you mean, like $75? Is that what you mean there, Jake? Thought on Strongly. Is that the name of the fragrance? Strongly? So we're still going down the list of most complimented fragrances. Thanks for joining in. $75. Well, Nautica Voyage is a good fragrance, though. I ain't gonna lie. That's a nice one. At first, I actually didn't like it, but I had to revisit that one, and it's a decent fragrance. So Mbacher, I'm sorry. Am I butchering your name, Mbacher? Is it Mbacher or Mbacher? Uh, Mbacher says, do you have golden sand or anything similar to that scent? I also watched your videos on incense, and you taught me a lot. Wait, did you say a lot? The heart is blocking that word. New subscriber here. Thanks. Oh, definitely. Thanks for following. So fragrances that are similar to golden sand. Honestly, I'm gonna have to say it's gonna be gold sugar. Gold sugar is similar to golden sand, in my opinion. Anna Shok, similar to golden sand. Anta or Anna Shok, and yeah. Hold on one second. What did you need, Ma? Hold on. Yeah, they're gonna see you when you walk in. You got it? Okay. What are my thoughts on Stronger With You? What? I don't know that fragrance. Yeah, I don't know that fragrance. I'm sorry. Explain the notes. So let's see. Complimented fragrances. We're getting back to it here. Britney Spears was my very first fragrance I ever sold from the website. Believe it or not. The French Kiss, I just think that's a really good fragrance. But actually it's not a really big seller. But that one is just, I gave that to a family member. I came back to their house and that bottle was empty. All the Gucci's sell. Issey Miyake, men and women, big sellers. What else? Pink Privacy, Pink Sugar, all the pinks. I have a I had a pink extreme, and that one sold out. But I actually haven't really got a lot of orders for that in the past like year. All the Prada Candy, that's another one. Giorgio Armani. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know now. I know what you're talking about. Is it wow? Giorgio Armani Emporio Stronger with You. I know that name, but I haven't smelled that one. All the polos, Polo Red Extreme. Why is this in the women's section? Prada Candy Floral. It's another one. Um, let's see what else. Rose the One. That's another one. Sorbetto Rosso is another one that moves out. The Tom Ford Blood Orange, that one moves out a lot. The Tom Ford Noir. Let's see. Warm Vanilla Sugar. Anything vanilla. Just our big movers. And the old throwback, White Diamonds. That one moves out. That one's a heavy mover. So among the unisex, oh, here, we'll go to men's. So for men, 1 million, 1 million lucky, those go out. Armani Code Sports. Let me see what else. Be Delicious, Black Butter, Black Code, Blue Day Chanel, big seller. Very big seller. Imported and domestic. The blue jeans, Versace blue jeans, Bond number 9, all the Burberrys. Let's see what else. Chrome. Was it the Chrome Extreme and the Chrome Legend? Those are both really good ones. Chrome Legend is like an older one, but that one is a timeless scent. Hold on. What do you need? Hold on. I'm back. Okay, let's see. The Clive Christians, the Clive Christian X, Clive Christian 1872, the regular Chrome, all the Cool Waters, all the Creeds. Desire is a big one. That one is one of my favorite, actually. Dior Sauvage. That one, that one will probably be a timeless scent. But that one's a really big seller. Dolce, like the classic Dolce Gabbana, that's another one. Um, Dunhill, Dracar, Versace Dreamer, Fahrenheit, timeless throwback. One fragrance that I'd like to see, like that I actually liked. I thought it was actually a very underrated fragrance, which is the Fleur du Mal, the John Paul. All the Gucci's are big. Green Irish Tweed, Gucci Guilty, Hot Water. That one actually used to sell out a lot. It doesn't sell as much as anymore. I Am King, Sean John, Invictus, all the Invictuses. Another one that moves out a lot is the Azaro Wanted. Um, uh, John Paul Ultra Male. That one's another one. Issey Miyake Blue. That one's not as a big a seller as the regular Issey Miyake, but the Issey Miyake Blue I thought was pretty nice. That one is very sporty. let's see, the Love and Black. So Love and Black, the Creed Love and Black, that one, I did a little testing with that because the Love and Black to me it smells like I don't know why I get like a cherry cola, like a cherry cola soda from Love and Black, and that's more to me is more of a unisex fragrance. But check this out: I was at the masjid once, and from time to time, what I'll do if anyone's been to the masjid here, when you go in, every masjid has a perfume section. Okay, because it's an Islamic practice to wear perfume. So when you go over there, it's usually at the front, off to the side where the imam will lead the prayers. You will see a little perfume section where they have the roll on. Sometimes you'll see some of the imports. And so one time I was like, well, I've got some of the Love and Black with me. Let me just drop it off here, along with a few other fragrances. And that fragrance, that one went like that. Brothers could not get enough of that fragrance. It went very fast. The Mandarina Duck, Cool Black. That's a really funny name. I don't know why anyone would name that fragrance Mandarina Duck. But yeah, that's another big seller. Mont Blanc Legend, another good one that moves out. New York Playboy, that one moves out a lot. The Oud Wood, that's a big seller. I personally don't care for that one. Now, here's what's interesting about Oud Wood is it smells like a to me it smells like a pure type of oud, even though it probably isn't. They're probably not using real oud to make that fragrance. But that one sells out a lot, and it doesn't have as much hang time as I'd like it to have. But again, it's a big seller. Uh, the Perry Ellis kind of seemed to slow down a bit. Pitbull Miami was really big. That one was big one summer. That one comes up every once in a while. All the polos sell out. All of them. Polo blue, polo black, polo double black. Polo black probably sells more than polo double black. I actually like polo double black better than regular the polo black. Polo red sells out. Polo Supreme Oud. I think that's a nice one, but that's a slower moving polo. Phoenix. That one was made by a high school kid. Product Extreme, that one moves out. Red Carbon, that's another one that was made by a high school kid. Uh, the let me see here, Spice Bomb, that's another big seller, really big seller. The Tommy Hilfiger's big sellers. Tobacco Vanilla, very big seller. Um, the Tom Ford, the Oud Mineral, the that one is a big seller. The Tom Ford Extreme Noir and the Tom Ford Noir are big sellers. All the leathers, the Tuscan leather and the ombre leather are both big sellers. Uh, the Valentino Born Aroma, very big seller. That one goes out quickly. Versace Eros, big seller. So yeah, among the men's, that's it. And let's go down unisex here, and then I will go down the list for imports. Monica says thanks for including the Sauvage in her package. She really liked it a lot. You're welcome. Yeah, that one's a big seller. Wait a second, I didn't do the unisex. Unisex big sellers here on extravagantfragrances.com. So the 24 karat Royal Musk among the sellers of that one is a that one is hit or miss. The first time, I actually, sometimes there's certain fragrances that I will underestimate or that I won't really care for or like, and then there'll be somebody else who likes it that I would have never expected would like. I remember when I was in San Diego, there was this uh, there was this hot shot. I called him out of my mind. I think I kind of viewed the guy as a hot shot because he's just like this guy was just always spiffied up. You know what I mean? Like he always had the most expensive taste. You know, he drove a range what you call a Range Rover. Always had the newest car. You know what I mean? His wife, like she always had brand new designer stuff all the time. And I gave him the 24 karat Royal Musk as a sample, I just kind of just threw it in there, not really even paying attention or caring. I just threw it in with his order because he got the Creed Imperial, right? And that Creed Imperial, by the way, he used to bathe in that stuff. But man, I walked up to his car one time and I just got a whiff of that. The whole car, I underestimated the strength of that fragrance. His whole car smelled like Creed Imperial. Um, but anyways, I gave him the 24 karat Royal Musk. He gave that to his wife, and she was full of compliments on that fragrance. And then I sold the 24 karat Royal Musk online, and I actually got complaints about that one. So that's what I'm saying is, if you're asking like, what are your top compliments? Sometimes it might be complimented. It could be complimented seasonally, or depending on who it is. Like, someone might rave about that fragrance, and then like someone else might come and just really just tear it apart and just slam the crap out of it. Aloe vera, that one really moved out. I remember one year that one was just selling left and right. I had one lady, she used to buy that by the pounds, and then she just kind of like, I don't know what happened to her. But I still have a lot of the aloe vera. Amber musk, that one's a private blend. That one sells well. That one sells very well. Uh, the Arabian sandalwood, it's kind of like Arabian sandalwood to me is a really good oil for incense making. James H, how's it going? You say you saw me advertise. James H said he seen me advertise the Superior Black Musk a long time ago, and you said it was really good. Yeah, it is really good. It's a really good fragrance. Um, that fragrance it used to be named something else, and I rebranded it and gave it a new name. But the reason why I did that is it was original, and I won't say what fragrance it was. It was originally a woman's fragrance, and I noticed a lot of Africans, a lot of African men were really jumping on that fragrance. And so a lot of guys, just in general, were really hopping on that fragrance. And so when I learned that, I'm like, okay, this needs to become a unisex fragrance, like right now. So I turned around and renamed it Superior Black Musk, and it was a hit. It was a total hit. But to be honest with you, that fragrance is more. It has a very good projection, and I would say I smell like lily in there. I smell lily in there. But yeah, that one is a big seller. Actually, I'm supposed to be sending out about a pound of that tomorrow. Um, so if you're looking for like the musk KL type of musk out of that fragrance, no, it's not. It's not. It's not that kind of fragrance. It's more of a heavy floral, like a deep, heavy floral fragrance. But I find that a lot of the guys, a lot of Africans and Black American men, it wears well for them. Just their chemistry and everything. So let's see what else. So, but like I was saying about the Arabian sandalwood, that the Arabian sandalwood is I like it for incense making a lot. I really like to burn that one a lot. Uh, but that was one of those fragrances that like it's kind of like how Blue Now is. It's like it has its certain fan base. You know what I mean? But that's not something like I can't Arabian sandal is not something I could push on everybody, if that makes any sense. Like I could go and take white oud, I could take, the 1 million all day long and push that on everybody. Everybody's gonna like it. I can push it on men, I can push it on women. They're all gonna love it. Arabian sandalwood is not one of those fragrances. Thanks for joining in. Um, let's see here. So Arabian jasmine's out of stock. I don't have that one right now. Arabian opium, that one is a big seller. Baby powder is a very, very big seller. That people like that one and they wear it like it's a freaking lotion. She's hanging out with you, ma. Let's see. Okay, blackberry musk. That one moved out for a while, but it's kind of slowed down. The black musk, um, is another big seller. That one's kind of catching some traction. And recently I've gotten requests for black stone. That one is a fragrance that I want to get that one in production. Um, so hopefully soon I'll be carrying that one. I want to be carrying that one soon. Let's see what else. What else? What else? Coconut mango and cocoa mango. Those are also both big sellers. The lick me all over is a big seller. Let me see what else. Um, the red Egyptian musk is another big seller. Egyptian amber 2, I think, is going to quickly become a better seller than the regular Egyptian amber. And of course, Egyptian musk. Egyptian musk is my biggest number one seller. I got actually have a number one beside that fragrance on the website. Uh, all the frankincense and myrrhs, those are big seller. Golden sand is a very big seller. Honey nut musk, big seller. Lately, the Island Dream has been getting a lot of compliments, and the White Angel Musk is another big seller of mine. Kush, Kush moves out a lot. That's another big seller. Let's see, all the YSLs, big sellers. Let me see what else. Patchouli, big seller. Honestly, I will probably put patchouli like right next to Egyptian musk. Believe it or not, that one, even though it's not something I would wear on like a day-to-day basis, but patchouli is a big seller. Let me see what else. Tunisian frankincense, that's another big seller. The vanilla bean has become a big seller recently. And yeah, and so let's go down the list of the imports. Among the imports, Oud Isfahan is like Oud Isfahan is moving out. That one is moving out a lot. The Kasabal Oud, that's kind of like has its own fan base, but the Kasabal Oud, that one is yeah, a big seller with a particular customer. Uh, trying to think what else here on the import side. Let me see here. Oh, that's it. Now, soft or so this is for the TikTok crew. So soft is has become a very big seller. That's one of my premium fragrances. Let me see. I'm trying to think what else. The Musk KL import, that's become a big seller. Also, the Invictus is also a big seller among the imports. So I think that's it. Anybody have any questions? I may be wrapping this up really soon because it's getting kind of late. All right, guys. It's getting a bit late. We got some family here that needs to get to bed. So, thanks for joining in, guys. I'm glad you all tuned in. And hopefully, I'll be back again. Hopefully, tomorrow, maybe the day after. But until then, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you soon. Take care, Drew.